Hey mates, and welcome to Blindformers. I'm your host Blind Prime, and for today we're going to be talking about Transformers Studio Series, the movie Skywarp. I am ecstatic to bring you Skywarp. I don't know about other people out there, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who did not have a Thundercracker and who did not have a Skywarp in their collection because of that fiasco with Earthrise. That was BS. All of that happened with Earthrise, the Coneheads, and these two. That was BS. Both of those two packs were absolutely terrible. No one could get a hold of them, and it was, I don't know what happened there, but somebody went mad in the marketing department. I like that would be a fun episode. I'm gonna try one day to actually look into what happened with those toys. Why did we get so few? I wonder if someone's done a video about that incident online. Anyway. So, for today, we've got Skywarp and Thundercracker from Studio Series 86, the new mold, and the Thundercracker mold, as I will call it. And then we have Starscream, Studio Series 86, the Earthrise Starscream. What did you knock over? Do you mind not knocking my things over? The ER Starscream mold. So, I want to do a little video talking about them today. I'm not going to be getting the MTMT Starscream. I'm not going to fight with that. If I happen to come across it on the shelf one day, excellent, wonderful. But that's not going to be today. I did come across it on the shelf back in Ocala, back in May. I know, May, of all the times, May. And it was there with Battle Damaged Optimus Prime. There was a Battle Damaged Optimus Prime and a Starscream on the shelf, and I only had the money to get one. And so I chose Battle Damaged Optimus Prime because I absolutely love the Commander Class Optimus Prime mold, and that transformation is elegant and smooth and amazing. And I wanted another version of that transformation. So that's what I did there. And I left that Starscream on the shelf. I did not know that the Starscreams are going to become incredibly rare. And so I'm like, yeah, halfway kicking myself. But at the same time, I like Emperor Starscream, okay? I like him. So today's video is going to be very similar to the Studio Series 86 Thundercracker video, where I'm just going to go over some things. I'm just going to fan out a bit. It's just going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go over the transformation one more time so that everybody knows it, and everybody will know it by the time they're done with all of the different retools and things. They're going to get their money's worth out of this mold, and they should, because it's an excellent, excellent mold. The Thundercracker mold is loads better than the Starscream mold. It is loads better. And the only reason I'm keeping the Starscream is because he's got the cape, he's got the crazy pauldrons, he's even got the crown. He's the best Starscream, in my opinion. You know, they can make his transformation better, but this is still a good Starscream. I know. You know, when you turn him around, this is the big problem with this Starscream, is this nose cone that stands out on his back. And if you turn these guys around here, you see that neither of them have a nose cone on their back. And that's cool, okay? That is really well done. I really think that is neat how they managed to get these backs so smooth, and everything folds together nicely. It is just a dream of a transformation. Now, I've already mixed up my Skywarp and Thundercracker. I'm pretty sure this is Skywarp in the middle, but then again, this could be Skywarp on the left. I'm not exactly sure. So today's video, we're just going to kind of go over him. I want to compare him to Starscream again, but I'm going to talk about some things I didn't talk about before. Distinct differences between the two molds that are really neat. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and strip Starscream down so that we can talk about him. So we're going to remove each of his pauldrons by yanking them off his shoulders. There we go. Pauldrons taken care of. We're going to pick up his nose cone a bit and come in here and pull your... not your wings, not your wings. Give me your cape. Thank you. Holy crap. Now we have, fold that back down. Go back down. There you are. So, some things that are very similar with these two products. Well, one major thing that is very similar between the two is the joint in the wings on how it flips up. It's actually the same on both of them. So the wings are kind of similar, though with the new mold, the Thundercracker mold, you actually get this little piece that you add to the end of the wing that you attach on. You have to do it on both wings, and it's a little winglet, and it gives you that little point that you see here on the Starscream Earthrise mold, but the point is more pronounced on the 86, and I really like how it makes that wing feel more complete, and it fills in the gaps. Because the back of the ER Starscream mold, don't fall backwards. I'm trying to showcase your back, you silly thing. There you go. Is very waffled. We've got a lot of waffling in here. There's a lot of it. And the back of the Thundercracker mold, very little. There's some waffling around the siege port, but it's a much smoother wing than what we get with the ER Starscream. And I really do appreciate the fact that the wings are better. Actually, you know, a lot of this Transformer's better. A lot of him is better. And I just accidentally untransformed him a bit. But, so, when it comes to sculpt work and molding, we talked about it a bit, but there's some points I want to make that I thought were neat, like the fact that the interior of these vents that sit on either side of the head, there's texturing in there. There's even some, you put your pinky in there, you can feel the vents. They textured into the inside. That's hard to get at. And they textured the interior vents. That's cool. Okay, they didn't really do that with this Starscream. You know, there's some in there. There's some texturing, but not to the degree that we get with the Thundercracker mold. Now, the Earthrise Starscream mold has better texturing when it comes to the front. This chest piece has got some really cool little vents on either side towards the ab area. We've got this big whole, like, pectoral hole thing that's got a point in the middle, like a little nipple deep in there. It's weird. But at the same time, there's a lot of cool textures going on there. For the Thundercracker mold, those things are much smaller, the little pectoral hole things, and there's no little nipple thing in there. It's more smooth and sleek. You don't have those vents or any of the roughage stuff that you get with the Starscream. And what that does is, it smooths down the design. It makes it a lot simpler. It does make it less textured, and I really love it when I get my textures. So the ER Starscream is amazing on the texture. They went crazy with the textures on this guy, and I really appreciate that. Now, we do get textures with this guy, but they're not as, in robot mode, they're not as apparent as they are in the ER Starscream mold. And that really works well for making sure that Starscream stands out from the others. And I know he wasn't supposed to stand out because they're all the same, but I think it's cooler that the Starscream with the cape and stuff has actually got a slightly different design, and he stands out from the other Seekers. It does make him a little more special. And of course, Starscream would want to be special. And I always wonder is, have the Starscream's problem the fact that he's a cookie cutter of a bunch of others, and that the only difference about him and them is his color and his attitude? Even Skywarp's different because he can teleport. But then Starscream learns that he's got an immortal spark, and it kind of makes him better. Thundercracker seems to be the odd man out of that trio, right? Anyway, so we talked about all these textures. The textures for this, amazing. This guy is absolutely just an amazing little guy when it comes to the textures. We got all sorts of stuff going on here, and I am very, very happy that we get something like this. This is absolutely just the best possible, transformation and robot mode. We get amazing articulation here. You get more than 90 on the knee. You get more than 90 at the elbow. No, actually, no, just a 90 at the elbow. Just a little more than a 90 at the knee, but not much more, actually. There is a full... Is there rotation at the waist? Do we have waist rotation? I think we got waist rotation with this guy. Yeah, we got waist rotation. And he's a decent little dude. He's a decent little dude. Now, let's get into the transformation, because, I was just talking... just kind of going on about him in robot mode because I just like how clean this robot mode feels. I like that there's nothing floppy. He's just a solid robot mode. So before we bring in, we talk about the transformation, I'm going to go over it one more time, but this time I'm going to go over the transformation differently. I'm just going to talk about what I like about the transformation and what I dislike about the transformation. Before we do that, though, let's do some size comparisons. So I have Megatron right here. We can stand Megatron from 86 next to the Skywarp, and let's put them face to face, and we get that Skywarp's head goes up to, wow, Skywarp, you were so much shorter than Megatron. Wow. The top of his head goes to the collarbone area, or the top of this big rectangle chest piece for Megatron. Megatron is massive compared to Skywarp here. This is just wild. Definitely difference in the weight for sure. And the elbow, the shoulders, we're going to have to slide him over here because of Megatron's gun. There we go. That is a big difference. The top of Skywarp's shoulder goes to the elbow for Megatron from the 86 line. That is a big difference in sizing. Now I'm going to set 86 Megatron over here. There you go. Here's our little bitty Cliff Jumper from Earthrise, talking about Earthrise stuff. Here we go, Cliff Jumper. Now the top of Cliff Jumper's head goes to the top of the waist, right at the top of the skirt for Skywarp. Now, Skywarp can wrap his entire arm like the little buddies, except they're not. Oh, no. Yeah! All right. I like knocking over the Cliff Jumper. Okay. Now, finally, we'll do a couple more little comparisons. We've got, where is he? Where is he? Not you, actually. Maybe you. Who is this? All right, we got this guy. Good old Motormaster. Now, Motormaster is... There we go. The top of Skywarp's head goes to the Motormaster's collarbone. And where is Onslaught? I thought I had Onslaught over here to showcase. Who are you? Oh. What are you doing? Okay, yeah. Here's another row. Here's another aerial bot. We'll compare the aerial bot to this guy, and we get that the top of Skywarp's head goes to like the chin area for Silverbolt. Okay. Now, if I could just find Onslaught, and I'll finish this off with Onslaught. Where's Onslaught? Cream, what did you do with Onslaught? He was over here waiting on the video. Cream? Cream. You monster cat. You have taken Onslaught out. I don't know where he went. He was over here, but no more is Onslaught over here. Is he over here? Nope. Oh well. Okay, so we can compare him to Onslaught because I don't know where my Onslaught is. All right, let's get into today's transformation for this Skywarp. This transformation is like the transformation for Thundercracker. We're just going to push both of his toes upwards. And we're going to come up here to his wings. We're going to grab his wings, and we're going to spin them around. There it goes. So grab the wing and just kind of fold it all the way down so that the end of it is closer to his legs. And you'll find that there's a big bar hinge that has to be kind of shoved down and put into place. There we go. Wings taken care of. You don't have to break off the little winglet thing on the side of his leg. It's attached with a siege peg. That way you can decide how you want your character to look, if you want him without them or not. Anyway, so you can go ahead and move that piece around if you want. So go ahead and move that piece around. We're going to go do the same with this one. Just move it backwards so that the little winglet is sticking up above the back of the leg by this jet engine feeling piece. All right, and it's going to stick straight up on both sides. Good, good, good. Next, we're going to come up here to his head area, and we are going to do some crazy awesome transformations. First, we're going to take away the neural guns that are on his arms, because they don't really fit in this transformation. Then we're going to come down here to the bottom of his arm, and we're going to split his arm in half. It's always fun trying to figure out which way this arm splits, because it's a weird one, and it actually has a little shelf that folds down out of the arm, and then the hand will fold upwards and onto the shelf, and then the shelf folds back up into the arm. And you're going to do that same with the other side. So find the shelf, just use your thumb to find the two lines that show where the shelf is, and then pull that down. Then push the hand up into the shelf on its own little ball joint, and then put that shelf back. There you go. Both arms are transformed, kinda. We still got some more transformation stuff to do, but that's an important part. Next, come up here to this core and pull it upwards. Everything in the core goes up. even the head. And then pull his back, his bottom area downwards. Okay, we're not pulling it down far. It's just going down a little bit, just enough so that we get some more clearance for this nose cone that's going to pop out from behind the cockpit and snap into place. And then you think that these two pieces on his back have to unfold so that the head fits in, but you would be wrong. The head actually comes down and it slides under them if we do it right. We just gotta remember how to do it right. It's like a little ballet going on here with these guys. So this piece has got to separate from that piece. There you go. Those two pieces have to separate first. So each of his little side pieces of his chest that have the little pectoral things, they each separate and go down independently, and then the head's going to kind of slip underneath these two pieces that are folded up on his back. We can just do that, please. There it goes. All right, there we are. That's the one of the more complicated parts of this transformation, is getting that head between these two flaps, because these flaps don't open very far, and the head's kind of got to pull out just a bit and then slide under them. Everything will come together, though, and I do really like how that transformation step works. How we get an entire nose cone that feels smooth, with very little lineage or anything like that. From the tip to the back, it's all one piece, it feels like. And that's an amazing thing they managed to do with this transformation. Now we're going to spin around here to the back area, and before we fold these these two chest pieces back down, we're going to rotate the arms around and come down here. So rotate each of the arms so that they're facing downwards. But before we do anything with them, pushing them into the area, we have to come down here to his skirt, and you're going to find the skirt that covers the sides of each leg. It's a tiny little thing. They're each going to get folded upwards and into the middle. Then we're going to fold these arms. We're going to push in the shoulder, so they're going to do reverse butterfly, and we're going to make sure that this this little post that sticks out of there's a little bitty tab that sticks out of one of the forearm pieces. You're going to make sure that tab is facing the ceiling if this thing is like down. So they need to be facing out, not towards the robot. So make sure each of those sides is folded down. Make sure that the little skirt pieces are each folded up, because that's going to give you just enough clearance for these arms to lay against the sides of this vehicle mode. Just enough clearance. Not too much, not too little, but just enough. And then this little chest piece is going to come down, and it's going to tab in to those two tabs. I think that's really cool how all these pieces come together to create the core of the jet mode at the front. Now everything's going to tab in better once we get these legs connected. So let's come down here to the legs, and we're going to deattach them at the knee. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the knees out, or actually no, it's the back. Back of the leg gets pulled out, and the leg, the thigh would just kind of scrunch down into the lower leg. So there we go. That thigh's crunched down in the lower leg. Then this back of the leg gets folded out, and then this thigh crunches down into that lower leg. And there we go. And there we go. And excellent. Wonderful. Clip, clip, done, done. And then we're going to come down here and attach the legs together to make the area where the jets come out. And that's honestly, I love how this jet mode feels, and I'm really excited to get to it, because this is just the best jet mode I've ever come across, next to Cyclonus from Kingdom. Okay, Cyclonus from Kingdom is still a top-notch transformer to this day. If you ever find one, get one. They have just an excellent transformation. Now, that piece is snapped into place. Now we're going to take this little panel that's right above his butt, and that's going to fold down. And I think it's funny that the panel has like what feels like the emblem of two cheeks in it because of the jets on the back. I just love it. So that's going to fold down and actually snap into place amongst these two, and that's going to help stabilize this guy and keep him from rotating at the waist. And I really think that's an addition. That is a lovely little piece doing that. Now, it doesn't want to snap into place for some reason because it's being dumb. Okay, now we're going to get this wing. It's going to fold down, and it's going to snap into place right there. So this wing's going to end up folding down. Come on, there it goes, there it goes. And then we're going to kind of snap it into place on the side. There we are. And that wing's going to get into the side. There it is. There it is. There we go. And there we are. Make sure that you line up the tail wing with the wing. And it not want to do. There it goes. Aha! Perfect. Wonderful. 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 That's going to snap into place, right? Yeah. We're going to play Squish 'em for just a second as we do the Play-Doh activity of squishing it down. Because sometimes there's just little pieces that don't want to fall in line. Like this side, right here. Now, with a complicated transformation like this, you're going to have moments where things just don't want to snap into place. And that's okay. That's going to happen. So you're just going to have to pull that piece up and just kind of squeeze it in just a bit more. There we go. Now that snaps down. Now we're going to come in here and we're going to fold this up right there on the back. And you have to play with it a bit longer to get that gap out. Sometimes this guy comes together instantly in an amazing way, and sometimes you got to fiddle with it a bit. And that is the negative to this transformation. That is the only negative to this transformation, in my opinion. I think this is excellent all in all, and getting that little bit in the rear to snap into place kind of finishes the job if it ever wants to do it. So we'll just leave it be for now. We're going to move this guy up, fold that head in, and that's supposed to snap into these two pieces there. There it goes. Hey now. There it is. Excellent. And that is our transformation into jet mode. It's not a bad transformation. It takes a little bit of extra work to get it finished. You know, what I have right now is the non-finished form. I'd say it's about 98% done, where I have to then take time and go through and make sure everything is squeezed into the right spots. Oh, I forgot to fold down the little tail wings. All right, there we go. Each of the little tail wings gets folded down, and it comes out to be an excellent F-15. This is a wonderful little jet, and I really appreciate all the cool jets we're getting lately. Now, you know, with the Leo Kaiser, we have great access to a nice F-14, and you know, all we need now is a Voyager class F-16 of some sort. And then, you know, I really would love to get my hands on that F-22 from the first movie. If I can figure out how to get a hold of a Starscream or anything that transforms into an F-22, I definitely will be getting a hold of it one day in the future, because the Raptor is my favorite modern-day jet. And I would love to have a Transformer representing the Raptor, because the Raptor's just too cool for school. Anyway, my overall thoughts on this guy are that the robot mode is exceptional. It could have done with some more articulation, but overall it's an S. The transformation is exceptional. We've got a lot of things going on to this transformation. You got the back of you got the legs folding up inside themselves. You got the arms collapsing into the chest area. You got a nose appearing out of the chest, and the wings rotating a full 180 to change their orientation and the silhouette. It's just magical how this guy comes together in each of his modes. It's a really great three-dimensional puzzle. Its transformation is definitely on the S-Class. It is an exceptional transformation, and one of the aspects about his vehicle mode that I really do appreciate is the fact we get landing gear. And anything that gives us landing gear and is a plane is always going to get bonus points, in my opinion. They don't have to put the landing gear in there. Rarely do they put the landing gear in there, but when they do put the landing gear in, it makes it feel better. Now, do I wish they would put landing gear in the back too, so we get yeah, I really do. I really wish we would get the Commander class Jetfire experience. Oh, but that's neither here nor there. I think that the transformation itself is S-Class. That is ranked up there with Cyclonus as one of the best transformations that Transformers has ever given us. And this vehicle mode, this is an exceptional jet. It's smooth, it's sleek, there's nothing that's flat, it's all rounded edges, and it's sublime. I love this vehicle mode, and the vehicle mode for Skywarp also gets an S. The Thundercracker mold is one of those molds that comes out once in a decade, in my opinion. It is just an exceptional mold, and we are going to see a lot of it in the future. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm going to be pre-ordering the Storm Pack on a Hasbro Pulse. You have until the 28th of August to do that, because these transformations are just a lot of fun, and I think it's a lot of fun to have a bunch of them. So I have blathered on long enough about the Thundercracker mold, Skywarp, today. I do recommend this mold in particular. This is exceptional. They really hit it out of the park with this one. Now, I wish they could hit it out of the park with some of their other Studio Series 86 stuff, but this is why I buy Studio Series 86, because of transformations and transformers like this. Not all of the 86 line is good, but there's a lot of good ones in there. There's some absolute gems, and this is the gem of the year when it comes to the 86 line so far. Well, I've blathered on long enough. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I've been Blind Prime, and this has been Cream the Fat Cat. Who's a good cat? Who's a good cat? Until next Prime, bye-bye for now.